Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I have a question. I agree that we need to have better coordination. I agree exactly with what Commissioner Hammond said. I'm wondering if better coordination could take place more easily if there was a small group meeting, not in a particular board setting, but bring the animal control people together, the sheriff's people together, a couple of concerned citizens if we want together, and just staff here, and one or two board members, and just have them sit down in a working group or committee, and come up with some operational improvements, and then bring back to the board.
That's fine with me, but I just think something's got to be done for animal control.
Well, then I'd like to make that as a form of motion that we establish a committee of the animal shelter people, the Humane Society folks, the Sheriff's Department, I think it's definitely part of it, the county manager and/or assistant county manager, and two commissioners to be designated by the chairman, and that to be a committee to come back to this board with specific recommendations for modifications on improving the overall operation of animal control for this county.
Okay, we have a motion on the board, on the floor for elimination of animal control and shelter privatization. Do we have a second?
It's not eliminated.
That's not what was.
No, I'm talking about the item was elimination.
No, we just have a committee to review.
Committee to review, I'm sorry.
I'll second. I'm not second the topic, I'm second Jack's motion.
That's what I was doing, was second the copy.
No.
First of all, I do want to apologize to the audience for us putting elimination, because I understand we raised blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, so,
I just want to make a note in the minutes that I believe it was, and maybe Kathy Mudd can remember too, I believe it was like 2006 maybe. We had an animal control committee, and it included the Humane Society, and it included citizens and all that. And we spent many hours working on it, and we brought back recommendations and presented them to 3 members of this board that are sitting here now, and the same thing happened with that happens with most recommendations, nothing. Just bring that up.
well, I'm gonna bring this up, that what we need to do as a board is what things that are happening in the past is caused by a lot of controversy. Every time the majority of the board gets either re-elected or not elected, then that's when the controversies start, because some that gets elected that is in the majority now is starting all the controversy. We have got to be more positive about how we operate this county. And if we're going to just keep pointing, looking at the back, and that's one of the reasons why God gave us eyes in front, where we can start looking forward and stop looking back all the time. And this finger pointing in this county has got to stop. And as long as it's going to be negative, we ain't going to never get anything done.
Mr. Chairman. I don't mean that as negative. What I'm saying is, if we don't remember what our history is, we're going to we're going to keep repeating it, and that's what we've done repeatedly. So I'm all for a committee, but I expect the board to do something once the committee comes back.
Thank you.
And that's what hasn't been happening. We get the citizens to work on all this stuff and spend their time and all that, and it's a waste of time for a lot of them because the board doesn't ever react.
And that's what happened, Mr. Chairman, is when you elected, if you go back, the statement was made by Commissioner Patrick that the majority, or at least 3 members sits on this board, that when all of that happened. But if you go back and look at the past, then when the majority came back, then they institute animal control. So that's what happened. So.
Do we have any more discussion on anything other than each other?
Amen.
Mr. Chairman, one comment, and Greg will be sure to notice those meetings, since they're committee of the board, the Attorney General's position is they're open. Public notice is required.
And I think that we'd be open, that committee ought to be open to the general public for any input that they have.
But it needs to be noticed just like a county commission meeting.
Exactly.
Sure.
There's no further discussion. All those in favor? 4-4.
Abstain.
Commissioner Hill
Abstain.
abstained.